So in this video we're going to look at Street View and at cross sections. So getting straight on with Street View, here we are above Lulworth Cove again. If I roll over the controls over here, find the orange man, click him and drag him, you'll see anywhere that's a road or a path that I can drop the man lights up in blue. So I'm going to drop him here on a path and you'll see automatically I zoom in to Street View, so I'm outside of the normal Google Earth view and I'm in Street View now. Just to practice the controls here, if you click and drag, you see I can move up or I can move sideways. There's Lulworth Cove. So just to practice, let's look up at the sky, cloudy English day. Let's click and drag and look down at our feet. It's a bit distorted down there, but just to show the controls. The other nice thing is, if I look at the cove here, the path is over here, and I roll the mouse wheel forward, I walk along the path, and Google Earth will guide me along there, but it will hold the view I'm looking at, so it will keep the direction I'm looking at there, which is quite nice. So let's go back there, and final thing I wanted to show you is you can create place marks in Street View. So if we click on temporary places here, that's where the place mark's going to go. Click create place mark, call this end of path, and click OK. You see it's created that, and if I click the button here and exit Street View, then I zoom out. I'm rolling the mouse wheel to zoom back up again, and if I double click the pin, double clicked it there, I can do it either in the Google Earth screen or temporary places. It flies me back into the view I was looking at in Street View, so that can be very helpful to pin views within Street View. Let's exit Street View there. So now let's look at cross sections. A bit of revision first. If we want to zoom out and I want to face north and look vertically downwards, I'm pressing the R key and you can see it zooms me into the right position. So that's quite a nice trick, clicking the R key on your keyboard. Let's create a line, so click temporary places again, find the line tool, path tool. So it's these three dots in a line, click that, call it my walk, because that's what we're going to create. Drag it out of the way, and I'm just going to click and release, click and release, click and release, click and release, and you can see I've created a impossible walk right outside of Lulworth Cove there. Click OK, and it appears in temporary places, and I can turn it on and off just like I would with a place mark, so that's a path. Other thing I can do, if I right click and I show elevation profile, you see it comes up with the elevation profile of the path, and if I roll my mouse over the graph, I need to click, you'll see that it shows me the height and exactly where I am along the path. So you can use this for all sorts of things. In this case, if you wanted to take students around a path like this, you could show them the elevation of where they're going, and they're going up the hill and along and then back down again. So that's lines and elevation profile. So for teaching tips, I've created a couple of examples of what I think you can do with these tours. First of all, I double click Southampton High View. I've made a mid view, and from here we're going to fly down into Violet Road, and what I've done is I've created a place mark in Street View, and this is an example of, I think is quite a working class area in Southampton. If I exit from that, double click and go back out to Southampton High View, And let's double click down into what's called Fursdown Road. And this is obviously a much more affluent area, middle class. So I thought this is something you can do with students, is in human geography terms, get them to look at different areas and different streets and make judgments on what various places are like and who lives there using Street View. So it's an example of what you can do with it. So that's Street View in a human geography kind of way. Zoom back out of Southampton. And now to take the looped view, the rocket view, we've gone out and I'm going down. I've done a Pennines cross section, and I thought, as an example of use, what can you use this elevation profile for? And here we are across the Pennines. So that's the west coast of Britain, and there's the Pennines, and then the east coast towards Newcastle. And I thought this was an example that you can use to, I'm clicking and dragging there. That section is obviously in the rain shadow, and that's why that gets far less rainfall, that section, than this section here, which is to the west of the Pennines. So an example of how you can use the elevation profile tool.